Hello, my beautiful souls. My name is Nicole, and I'm here to help you reconnect with your light. Today, I'd like to talk about energy. I'd like to talk about the fact that everything around us is made up of energy. What is energy exactly? Energy is basically molecules and atoms moving at an extremely high speed. Everything we see around us is basically just things moving at different speeds. As human beings, we're also made up of energy. And what really determines what energy we are is the emotions that we express, the emotions that we feel. I think by now, those of you who've been following me will have noticed that I talk a lot about emotions. And why is that? Because emotions are basically energy in motion. And the emotions that we feel and express and believe ourselves to be, these emotions are really what determine who we are and how we move through the world. Most of you have probably heard about the law of attraction by now, and the law of attraction is, of course, something that has been talked about for many years now, and it is something that works. But in order to understand the law of attraction, we must understand the fact that everything is, in fact, energy. So, how can we start to really attract the things that we wish and the things that we hope into our lives? It's really by the emotions that we feel. It's about learning how to change our emotional state of being. At the end of the day, everything is energy. I am energy, you are energy, but the only thing that differentiates our energy is the emotions, the beliefs, the thoughts that we have in our subconscious. Now, what happens is we all have limiting beliefs. And our limiting beliefs are things that are within our subconscious. We don't even realize that we don't believe these things. And the thing is that most of the beliefs that we have are created between age 1 to 5. And during age 1 to 5, we are very egocentric in that we come into this world and everything stops for us. Everybody is at our beck and call. We start to understand that if we cry, people will pay attention to us. We start to pay attention that if we express ourselves, people will pay attention to what it is that we have to say. But the thing is, our limiting beliefs create the belief system. They are the foundation of all of our beliefs, even in adult life. So it's extremely important to start to question what these limiting beliefs are. And what these limiting beliefs are basically things that we have been taught by society, our parents, our conditioning, our education system. For example, a lot of parents or people will say money doesn't grow on trees. And whilst that may be true, by our parents saying these things to us when we were children, we then had the belief that money didn't come easily, that in order for money to come to us, we must work extremely hard, that the only way money can come to us is in a very specific way. But this is not true. Because when we look around us and we see some people have a very easy way of attracting money and abundance to them, it's because they don't have limiting beliefs around money. A lot of people will say money is the root of all evil, but money is not the root of all evil. Money is simply a tool that allows us to attract certain things to ourselves. Again, money is simply energy, and it's the way we choose to look at this. It's the way we choose to It's the beliefs that we have around money which will determine the way in which we attract abundance to us. So it's important to start to pay attention to what we're saying, what we're thinking, what we're feeling. You might say, oh no, money comes to me easily, but somewhere inside of you there is a limiting belief, something that was taught to you when you were a child that makes you believe that it isn't so easy to attract money and abundance. So by understanding the fact that everything is in fact energy, it then becomes easier for us to attract that what we want. And how can we do that? Energy is simply about understanding what is out there for us. For example, if I get into an energetic state of love, happiness, joy, my emotions are high vibrating emotions, and this helps to raise my own vibration. Just coming one step back, we are all made up of energy, and we are all made up of different vibrational frequencies. And the level at which we are vibrating is determined by the emotions that we feel. For example, if I am feeling love, joy, happiness, all the high vibrational energies, then emotions, then I begin to raise my vibration. But if I am thinking about, if I am in fear, if I'm thinking about pain, about lack, about anger, any low vibrational energies, then this brings my own vibrational frequency lower down. And we all have an energetic imprint. We were all born with a very specific energetic imprint, and this is where astrology comes into play. Because at the time of our birth, our planets were aligned in a very specific way. And let's not forget that because everything is energy, there are certain energies that the planets emit. And the way the planets were aligned, this made up our energetic imprint at the time of our birth. Now, this is also combined. I know that a lot of you probably don't believe in astrology, and astrology is actually a very complex topic that we're still really understanding. Astrology is something that was used by kings and queens back in the day before the time of the internet, and astrologers were sought out by kings and queens when it came to making big decisions. For example, when people went into battle, astrologers would be called upon to give them advice as to when would be the right time to lead their people into battle. So astrology is simply something that helps us to understand the energies that are present. And today, at the time that I'm recording this, today is the full moon in Gemini, and it is in fact a lunar eclipse, meaning that the energies that we will be feeling from tonight's full moon will be even more intense than usual. And the purpose of the full moon is simply to bring to light things that have been in our shadow. So today is an important time to really start to ask yourself, what is it that you wish to release? What are you still holding on to, whether that's beliefs, thoughts, habits that you do that are not allowing you to be your true you? So coming back to the energetic imprint at the time of our birth, the planets were emitting a certain frequency, and this impacted the way that we move through the world. This impacts the way that we behave, the way we see the world. But now, when the planets are constantly in motion, which they are, the transiting planets will impact each and every one of us differently, because they may be impacting the planets that were present at the time of our birth, either in a positive or a negative way. 2020 has been a chaotic year, to say the least, and this also has a lot to do with the astrology and the placement of the planets. But that is something to discuss another day. Let's come back to energy. And let's talk about the fact that we can change the vibrational frequency of our bodies. We can change the vibrational frequencies of our minds, depending on the emotions that we are feeling. And this is why I cannot stress enough the emotions that we feel. The more we are vibrating in high energies and high emotions, the more our frequency raises, and the more we are able to attract high vibrational experiences to us. For example, if I'm constantly feeling lack, if I'm constantly worried about where I'm going to get my next paycheck, if I'm constantly worried about how I'm going to pay my bills, or if I'm constantly saying, oh, all I do is pay bills, remember, our thoughts create our reality. And because our thoughts create an emotional expression, that emotional expression is sending out an energetic imprint into the universe. And we are basically telling the universe, this is what I'm attracting to us. And this is why we talk about meditation, and why cultivating that garden, cultivating your thoughts, being more aware of your thoughts, being the observer behind your thoughts is so important. Because it is when we attach an emotion to our thoughts that they become a reality. Remember, our brain doesn't have the capability of understanding whether this is something that is happening in our mind or this is something that is happening in real life once an emotion is attached to that thought. So simply having thoughts and not attaching emotions to them make them simply thoughts. But as soon as you attach an emotion to that thought, you are sending a message to your brain that makes your brain believe that that thing has already happened. So now when we're constantly living in lower vibrational energies and lower vibrational emotions such as lack, fear, then we are in lower vibrational frequencies, and we then attract more lower vibrational experiences to us. Think about it this way. When you wake up in the morning and you've woken up on the wrong side of the bed, as they say, we start our day off in a bad mood. And generally, if we wake up and we think already, oh, I'm in a bad mood, and we start to think about all the things that we have to do, oh, I have to go to this meeting, and oh, I have to go to that meeting, and all of the things that you have to do, you're already sending stress signals to your brain, and your body is already in a heightened state of stress, activating your sympathetic nervous system, which is the system that activates the fight or flight mode. So the more we attach emotions to our thoughts, the more our body thinks that these things have already taken place. So it's extremely important that whenever you're attaching an emotion to the thought, it is only a high vibrational emotion. A vibrational emotion, a high vibrational emotion that will help you to attract more high vibrational circumstances. So again, coming back to money, because money is necessary in the world we live in, and we all need money to get through our day-to-day lives. But as soon as we start to change the way we view money, we start to change our emotions around money. So rather than seeing money as the root of all evil, see money simply as a tool that can attract that which you wish. So next time you start to feel worried about where you're going to be getting your next paycheck and how you're going to pay all the bills, simply close your eyes, go inwards and say, money comes to me with ease. Money comes to me with ease. Money comes to me with ease, and attach an emotion of belief, of gratitude, because when we feel gratitude, we're sending messages out into the universe that this thing has already happened. So the more we begin to feel gratitude for the things that we wish to attract to us, even if they may not have happened yet, we're telling the universe, send us more of these things. So the more we pay attention to the experiences that we wish to have, the situations that we wish to experience, and attach gratitude before they happen, then we begin to attract more of that which we wish for. So really, beautiful souls, it's really all about understanding that everything is energy. Everything is just a vibrational frequency. And the way that you can change your vibrational frequency is through your emotions. Starting to be more in your feelings and to feel things from your heart space, as opposed to always thinking things from your mind. You'll begin to start to realize where you're doing things from fear or from lack, as opposed to where you're doing things because you believe that they can happen. And of course, this is not easy. It's very difficult to change the way we think and the things that we believe, because we've been moving through this life having these beliefs, and until we start to challenge these beliefs, we don't really even know that they're there, and they hold us back. And this is why using the cycles of the moon and using astrology to help us put ourselves into an energetic state that will help us to attract that which we wish for, the easier it then becomes. It's really starting to no longer look at things from a 3D perspective, no longer looking at things from a material perspective, a physical perspective. Einstein talked about E equals mc squared, which basically talks about the fact that matter and energy are the same thing. It's only once matter is moving at a very high speed, let me go back there. It's only once energy or molecules or atoms are moving, vibrating at an extremely high speed, that they then become matter. So the way we can attract things to us, because everything lives in the quantum field, and the quantum field is simply an energetic space where there is only infinite possibilities. Again, I want to come back to talk about Dr. Joe Dispenza, because he really explains this in a way that is so understandable for any Tom, Dick and Harry out there. And he really explains the fact that the more we change our emotional state, and the more we can get into a state of nothingness, and this is where meditation becomes super important, because meditation helps us to get into a state that allows us to connect with the quantum field. And it is in the quantum field that we then begin to attract these infinite possibilities. The more we try to control a situation by saying, this is the only way I wish for it to go, the more we are getting in our own way. So it's important to learn to surrender to the unknown, learn to understand that we are just simple nothingness in this huge universe that we live in, that we really don't know much, and we can't even begin to fathom the things that can exist. But it isn't until we get out of our own way that we can really begin to understand that we have the capability of calling anything to us. But the more you surrender to the unknown, and the more that we accept that we know nothing and things can be unknown. And that is what 2020 has been about. 2020 has been about showing us that we know nothing, that the world can change at any given moment, that we have no idea what changes may take place from day to day, because we had gotten so used to living in autopilot and simply moving through life doing things all the time, as opposed to simply being. We had forgotten that life isn't as we know it. Things change. The only constant in the world is change. The only thing that stays the same is the fact that things are always changing. And the sooner that we are able to surrender to that change and stop trying to control the situation, and trust that as soon as we believe that good things can come to us and good things are coming to us, the sooner we get out of our way and we allow the universe to bring us that which is our right. But it isn't until we can change those limiting beliefs and get out of our own way that we are able to attract these things to us. So it's really learning how to meditate, learning to become the observer behind our thoughts, learning to be more mindful, learning to be still, learning to be in our emotions as opposed to our thoughts, learning to really feel through our life, to be in touch with our emotions, to process those emotions. And whenever we feel low vibrational emotions, whenever we feel fear, lack, anxiety, it's either because we're living in the past or we're living in the future. We're not living in the present moment. The more we are present, the more we are focused to what is happening right now, right here, the more I am creating my reality. Right now, if I sit here and I choose that today will only bring me good things, but I have to really believe that. I can't just say it, because remember, the beliefs are connected to the emotions. It is through our emotions that our beliefs can either be created or shattered, because thoughts are not important if we have no emotions attached to them. So beautiful souls, learning to understand that our emotions make up our vibrational frequency and make up our energy. It means that we can literally tune in to anything that we wish to attract to ourselves. I will put a link in the description box below with a video to one of Dr. Joe Dispenza's talks, so you can go and understand this in more detail. He explains it so beautifully, and I really urge you to listen to this, because this is something that truly works. I've understood that I have the capability, we have the capability of calling anything that which we wish into our lives by breaking those beliefs and by really getting out of our own way. And they say, fake it till you make it. But the thing is, we have to fake our emotions. We have to start to believe. And it's difficult to fake emotions that are not there. So simply expressing gratitude, starting your day off with gratitude and focusing and being grateful for all the things that you already have, helps you to remember and helps you to raise your energetic frequency. And that again is what 2020 has been about. While all these changes have taken place, 2020 has helped us to be grateful for what we already have. 2020 has helped us to be grateful for the people around us, for the connections that we have. 2020 has given us the time to be more introspective and to question that which we truly believe and that which we truly want. So where are you putting your energy? Where are you putting your focus? Because it is what you focus on that your energy is going towards. So if you're constantly worried and feeling like a victim and thinking about all the things that are going wrong, then you're attracting more of these things to you. The sooner you start to focus on all the good things that are happening in your life, the sooner you will begin to attract more good things. It's a process, beautiful souls, but the more you practice, the easier it becomes. This is something that I have been practicing now for 3 years, and I have seen the changes. I was depressed. I was so low. I felt like such a victim. I always used to question, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? And soon I started to understand that these were just messages from the universe. And remember, The perspective that we have is the way that we see the world. It is through our emotions that we see the world. As soon as we start to see the good in the world, the sooner we'll start to see that the world is a beautiful place. The more you focus on the negative, the more you focus on things like the news, which are constantly showing all the negative things going on in the world, the more you're lowering your vibrational frequency, the more you're activating your parasympathetic nervous system, and the more you're putting yourself into fight or flight mode and activating stress and putting yourself at higher risks for attracting any kind of disease or illness. So keep your vibration high. The more elated, the happier, the more joy that you begin to feel, the more good things begin to flow to you. So beautiful souls, I wish you all success on this journey, and please feel free to reach out in case you have any questions and need help through this process. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I hope you have a beautiful full moon. Bless you all.